So we have been moved to our room that we're staying in for the night. Baby's out here, is here chilling. Looks like he's trying to wake up, so I might try to feed him again. Y'all, it has been a crazy day. Apparently all those things I was confused about for the last couple of days about whether I was in labor or not, I was right. My water had broken. But I'm gonna save that. I'll tell you guys the whole story later. Right now I'm just waiting on my food. Big had to go back to walk the dog, so he's gonna be gone for a while. And my mom flies in tonight, so she'll be here soon. But I have a baby, y'all. I can't believe it. I don't even know what to do with myself. I have a ton to do because I have to do his birth certificate. I have to order my breast pump. I have to figure out how to feed him because he doesn't want to latch so far. Busy. And I'm kind of feeling a little overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And everything I've learned is kind of out the window because I've been so overwhelmed. But I'm starving. My tailbone, I don't know what happened. When I first started pushing, there was like a pop. And it felt like my tailbone just snapped off. And it's very sore now. It's actually like the most painful part of my recovery. So I don't know what that's about, and it makes it very hard to move around, but slowly but surely I'm getting around. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna take this time to wait for my food, order my breast pump, and fill out this certificate, and hopefully I can eat and sleep. And tomorrow sounds like a very busy day, but I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on today. Today is so crazy. Like, words cannot describe. Everything people said about labor is pretty much accurate, but there's nothing like experiencing it. It was a wild ride. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, I'm about to try a second attempt at feeding this child, this stubborn child of mine. He's just tired. I hate this. Okay. So I unswaddle him to wake him up. Rise and shine, little baby. Oh, he was double swaddled. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Rise and shine, little one. You gotta eat sometime. Oh, your little feet. I know. It's cold out here in the world. Oh, he has long nails and sharp. Let me get you some mittens. Little hat's coming off. I know. I'm hungry.
Right, and maybe some more pillows.
Yeah, we got
Grandma's here. I did a terrible job swaddling him,
Okay,
so I don't know if you want to
bring
rewrap
some
him.
stuff in for y'all.
Okay, thank you.
I haven't held the baby in so long.
Do you want to sit down?
No, I can take him.
Okay. Watch my IV. Ooh, your hands are cold.
It's because I just washed them. They're not cold. Hey there. He does look like you, Jess. There. Look at those little lips. Look at those little lips.
from me.
Yeah, you got your lips. Might be a combo. Might be a
Nah,
combination.
this looks definitely bigger than mine were.
Yeah, you didn't have it.
I'm frowning. You have to stay in his slumber. You sleep all day.
Oh.
It's
I
heavy.
hear they did not want me to come and see you. They were trying to hold me at the airport. I felt like I was in prison. On that plane.
I had the same experience with Delta the last time I flew
I've never
with them.
taken another flight with a connector.
Connecting flight?
I can't take a flight directly to where I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
I'll drive or not go. Hey there, you gonna open
Oh,
your
he woke
eyes?
up.
Hey. Hey there. You like, what's up, grandma?
So is he calling you grandma?
No.
Have you decided what he gonna call you?
Whatever catches on, I guess. It don't really matter. He's good size, too. You a good size baby.
You wanna see a clip of me pushing?
Why not?
Pretty entertaining.
Oh.
I don't know her either. Hey, here's today's breakfast. I got the breakfast sandwich, so that's egg, cheese, and bacon. I asked for lettuce. I know this is not the little lettuce they gave me to put on my sandwich. And I also got Greek yogurt with berries and granola. And then I got the breakfast potatoes, which look delicious. And I'm starving. And apple juice.
I'm coming to save you.
You see how Daddy swallows since he's acting like he's a pro.
First, it needs to be in a square form. Don't worry about him crying. You just know. Then you bye-bye. Put that
Are you
down.
gonna do it inside out?
It don't matter how it is, as long as he's secure. Right, Papa? Hey, yes.
Hey, hands.
Hey. Oh, you
Them
got
hands
look.
can be
You
up.
see, look at this. Look at them muscles. Look at them traps. Okay, well, loosen up.
He like to have his hands
He
up
got a
on
little
his
strong
face.
girl. Oh, don't pout. Hey. Zaire, hands down, son.
Yeah,
He's
like that.
he's strong. Yeah, I know. He's all about what he likes. Here, tuck that in. And I know how to do this part. This is definitely not right, but it's somewhat. It's in the realm.
I ain't never seen a swaddle like that before.
He's quiet. He like being pampered. He likes that temperature. Can I check this? Okay. The temperature of the water. He really chilling. Like this. Right here. You did it. I can see you out the corner of your eye, boy. Turn yourself.
Chill. Sorry. I ain't gonna Hi guys, it is day 2 at the hospital. I really should be asleep right now while this little one is sleeping. Yeah, that's all he been doing. But ooh, my lips. I think I'm just kind of anxious because so much is going on. But and I barely slept last night, so I could definitely use a nap. But clearly, that's probably not gonna happen until I go home. I think today, assuming all goes well, will probably be our last day at the hospital. I just want to update you guys on what has been happening. So of course I gave birth yesterday at 3:30 p.m. The day went by so fast. Like, I'm really shocked by how my labor wasn't quick, but it felt quick, and it was like way faster than I expected. Like, even the fact that I was 5 centimeters dilated and 100% effaced when I got here kind of blows my mind, because the cramps hurt, but they weren't like unbearable. Honestly, I could talk through all of my contractions. So those little things that they say, like, yes. I don't know. Even the one of the midwives yesterday was saying, I could tell you're going to be hard to read because they didn't do a bunch of cervical checks. So they just go based off your emotions or how you're acting. You know, they say once you get into transition, when things are really bad, you get to the point where you're talking less. There's no smiling. Like, it's just obvious that you're really going through it. And there was really never a time during my labor that I feel like I was like that. I can't. The pushing was, by now y'all seen the pushing. It was hard. But in between, like, I was so relaxed, I guess you could say. I even dozed off a couple times. Like, very briefly, like a second or two. But that's how relaxed I was. Or maybe I was just worn down, but I was still like talking regular, and I don't feel like I had the textbook labor in that aspect. One thing a lot of people don't talk about when you give birth is how they have to do the fundal massages after. I thought they only did that once. I found out through Facebook that they do that and that it's painful. It's like, that's something else I have to not look forward to. And it is painful. And every time she did it, because apparently she had to do it every 15 minutes, and it's just to like make sure everything clears out of your system, your blood isn't abnormal, I guess to make sure you don't hemorrhage or something. But every time she did it, it was so painful. I was just instinctively, the first couple times I actually grabbed her arm, like, okay, stop. But by then she was done. But instinctively I would want to like grab her hand, and my legs would tighten up, and it was just a mess. Like, I just couldn't even stop myself I couldn't even relax myself at all. But I got through it. It wasn't too bad. Honestly, after pushing the baby out, it's like, okay, I don't want to do this, but it really is nothing compared to the actual labor. So the nurse did that. They kept checking my blood pressure every 30 minutes, I think. 15 or 30. Ooh. Still hard for me to get up and down. But ultimately, I really feel like this is not normal. Ultimately, it wasn't bad. And then they moved us up to this room where we spent the night. And we just had a nurse. So far we've had 2 nurses, but one for the night shift. Her name had just happened to be Jasmine. Shout out to you. You might see this because I know she said she found my YouTube after we talked about it. And now we have a new nurse. Yeah, so I came up here. They still check my blood pressure, my temperature. They don't do the full massage, so it's not as painful, but they just kind of like press on your stomach a little bit, check your pad, and make sure you're not bleeding crazy. And I think they've only been doing that maybe every few hours or something. It hasn't been that often. Of course, they've been checking the baby too. The nurse comes in and checks, make sure he's eating. If I need any help, which I have, we've been kind of on a struggle bus with the breastfeeding, but we've actually been doing better than I thought, because please excuse my lips. Every time I look at the monitor, it's like gross. I was actually gonna do a little makeup today, but all of my plans for the hospital have gone out the window because all I really care about is holding my baby. Taking pictures and looking cute is not a top priority. So yeah, they've been popping in and checking on me and the baby every so often. The nurse will come in and check and see, if I'm feeding him on schedule, which honestly I haven't been doing a good job. But I've been doing better than I thought because I really didn't think he was eating anything. But he's already had 2 poop and pee diapers in less than 24 hours, and he really only needed 1. So that lets us know that he's actually eating. He's actually getting colostrum from me. But like when he's feeding, it doesn't feel like it. And we really do struggle with his latch, but he did a really good job late last night. It's funny because every time a nurse or a lactation person came, he would just fall asleep. I think he was just so tired because, you know, they say the first 24 hours, that's really all they do is sleep. But late last night, I think he was so hungry and he was just going at his hands. And finally, the nurse tried to help, but he just was not doing it. And I just kept at it for probably a good hour. And finally, he opened that little mouth wide enough to latch. I don't know if it was a great latch, but it didn't hurt. And I think it hurting is like the first time that it's not good. And it seemed like he was far enough on my nipple for it to be a good latch. And he was sucking like, he had some solid sucks, but he was still falling asleep a lot. So I had to keep rocking him to wake him up. I probably did that on that one boob for, I want to say an hour, but it was a good while. But then I started falling asleep, and like at one point I woke up and I looked down. I was like, oh crap, okay, I need to put him away because it's not a good idea to fall asleep while holding him. Of course, I'm comfortable in bed. I left my phone across the room. Hold on, y'all. So yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, he did a really good, I think what was a good latch, and he was sucking. And that was the first time I've seen him like actually suck, because before he was like chewing. I'm like, what are you chewing? You don't even have teeth. And it's been really hard to get him to even open his mouth wide enough, or really at all. And then even if I got a little bit of my nipple in his mouth, he would eventually spit it out because he was just doing this thing with his tongue. He was just pushing it out. He was getting frustrated. I was losing hope, but he got it, and he was doing some strong sucks last night, and he was doing it for a while. I had to keep waking him up to keep him going, but he did it for a while. But when I started falling asleep, I was like, I need to put him up and call it a night because this isn't safe. So I swaddled him. My swaddle game sucks, by the way, but I'm sure it'll come with time. And luckily I bought some like zip up swaddles too, so that'll be nice. Swaddled him, put him back in the bed, which getting up and down has been such a process. Like the worst part of my recovery, because I didn't tear, thank goodness. I got like a little tear at the front, which I knew if I got damaged it was gonna be at the front because I could tell by the way it felt. I got a little tear, but nothing that requires stitches. So like vagina wise, I'm good. But my butt is fine. I haven't had my first poop yet, so I don't know what that's gonna be like. I feel like it's gonna be fine, but I really don't know because I really can't tell the state of things back there, and I'm too scared to look. And whatever that crack was during labor, I don't know if I told you guys, but when I first started pushing, it might be on camera. There was a pop like at the very around my tailbone basically. I felt it and it was very audible. Like the whole room heard it. There was a pop as he was coming down. And in my mind, my tailbone just broke back. Because that's what it felt like and that's what it sounded like. And ever since then, that area just feels like very loose, damaged something. I don't know if it's just sore, but that's what's making it so hard for me to get up and down. And like maneuver around in this bed. I've noticed like the longer I sit down, the worse it gets. I just have to keep moving. But hopefully that gets better in the next few days. So yeah, that's been my biggest challenge. That and the fact that I had that stupid IV in all day yesterday. And then she finally first I had the fluids because when I first came in, they were saying that there wasn't enough variation or something in his heart rate. Like it was just too consistently the same. And I guess they like to see the baby more active. So they had me drink some juice, and nothing really seemed to change it, but his heart rate wasn't concerning health-wise. They just wanted to see, like I said, him being more active, but they kept saying he's probably in a sleep cycle. I'm thinking this baby sleeps a lot, I think. I feel like he spends most of the day sleep, and then he waits until I lay down, and then he'll like perk up a little bit. But so because of that, they put me on fluid. So I had the IV, which I didn't want, but you know, whatever is gonna get him here safely. I was on the IV for that, so I hated that. Then afterwards, I'm thinking like, oh, can you take the IV out now? And they're like, no, we're gonna give you Pitocin. And I'm like, what? I like specifically did not want Pitocin for labor, so why would I need Pitocin after? But they said that it's a low dose just to like help my uterus contract and get like size down or something. He said you might feel a little crampy, but other than that, it's not gonna be you're not gonna feel it significantly. It's not like when you're in labor. So they gave me the Pitocin in the IV, and I had to keep it in for 8 hours, so that sucked. But I might have felt one slight cramp, but I didn't really feel anything from it. It was just annoying because everywhere I go, I had to like drag this big, the IV setup thing. And then having it in my arm and feeling it stabbing me if I move my hand the wrong way, because they had it like on the side of my wrist. It was just very inconvenient and annoying. So between that and my lower back, like that's been the worst part. But finally got the IV out late, really like early this morning, but late last night. At first she disconnected it. That was a huge relief because I didn't have to lug that thing around anymore. And then they came and covered it so I could shower. I ended up getting it wet anyway. So I called the nurse and I was like, I don't know how important this is, but I got my IV wet. So then she just came and took it out, and I was like, oh, finally. So I can actually like move my hand around. I was struggling to hold the baby and everything just because this hand just felt so restricted with the IV in it. Got rid of that. And things haven't been, like I said, it's really just my back at this point. I gotta use the bathroom, y'all. This is gonna be a process. But things have been pretty easy. Zahir has been sound asleep for the most part. Every now and then he'll get a little fussy. I'll try to feed him. I'm supposed to be trying to feed him every 2 to 3 hours. Like I said, I haven't been doing the best job, but evidently I'm doing something right because he's pooping. He just had his circumcision. I'm so sad about that, but he had it done, and he's been chilling ever since. He had his first bath, as you guys saw. And as soon as he came back from the circumcision, of course, I had to pick him up and just, make sure he was good. As soon as she brought him in the room, he was asleep. As soon as she walked out, he started crying. I was like, oh, he wants to be held. So I picked him up. He calmed down. And then his little butt just started going for it. Like, he's full blowout, like farts, grunts, and everything. I was like, oh, he's pooping right now. Sure enough, it was a bunch of poop. And even the nurse commented on how it was surprisingly like a normal poop. It wasn't like that first black tarry poop, I forget, I guess that's meconium or something that they usually have. And I noticed with his first diaper last night, I was surprised too because I was expecting nothing but the black tarry stuff, but it was like that, and it was still a little brown, like it looked like some normal poop. So I'm like, that's interesting. But I think because he pooped in utero, maybe he got a lot of that out already. I'm a whole mama, y'all. I can't believe it. It's so surreal. I woke up like this morning, it was probably like 3 or 4 o'clock, to him crying, and I was so confused for like a couple seconds, like 5 seconds. I was just like, what is this noise? And I looked up there, I was like, oh yeah, I do have a baby. It's so weird. You carry a baby around for 9 months and then you meet them in real life, like, oh my God, you're here. You were inside my stomach for all this time, causing me all these symptoms and issues. Anyway. So yeah, needless to say, I can't wait to go home and get settled in with him. I don't know, I can't see myself getting anything done with my life, but I got a ton of videos to edit. But all I want to do is take care of my baby. I'll be glad when we get our schedule together and established as far as breastfeeding and everything, and I kind of get into the swing of being a mom. And everything will just be easier. So are you just looking to see if he like reacts to the sounds?
No, so I'm not expecting no reactions from him. So how it works, it throws the sound to the baby's cochlea. The cochlea has some hairs that will vibrate, and the vibration will come back to the machine.
Oh wow.
It's actually pretty good that he's asleep.
Oh, he's been doing that since he got here.
Lucky you.
I know.
It's okay. Perfect. Baby already passed the radio. Let's check this side. It's okay. Perfect. He passed both ears.
Okay. Well, we're at the end of the road. We are officially being discharged from the hospital. We have our celebration, well, big celebration dinner. Because it came with the package, so I told him, go on, order what you want. He had steak and potatoes. What was this? Salmon and rice? Oh, that smelled good. It was good.
What?
All their food smelled real good, but I feel like the flavor don't be matching quite. But it's good. For hospital food, it's definitely good. Because I've seen some sad meals on people's YouTubes. But they got legit food here. And our cheesecake. And a little soup. So we're about to head home. This was a quick turnaround, even though I feel like we've been here forever. Don't it? But probably because I haven't slept. I'm probably the only one who hasn't had a full night's rest. Yeah, I'm surprised I'm still going when you think about it. I ain't really had a full night's rest since Sunday night. Today's Wednesday. So I woke up early Monday. Lost my mucus plug and I ain't been able to go to sleep since. But alright guys, we're about to, oh my god, my lips. They are like, do my lips like look like this in real life? Like gray? Anyway, we're about to be discharged.